We have a special guest with us on Until Saturday, and not just because he's a worldwide star, but because he's a New York Times best-selling author, and you can find him most times in Head to Toe in Burnt Orange. It's Matthew McConaughey. Matthew, thank you so much for hopping on.
Well, Mike, good to be here, bud.
I'm so excited you're here. We have tons to dive into, including your newest book, Just Because, which is out right now. But I want to start with your Texas Longhorns. You were in Tuscaloosa at Bryant-Denny Stadium for that primetime game. What
Yeah,
was that atmosphere like?
it's awesome, dude. It was awesome. I mean, that's great fans, great fan base. That's in the deep South. That's in the stadium of the team that has been the par excellence for the last 15 years. Those fans know every word, every cheer, every song, fully engaged. The atmosphere was incredible, and it's just that's the entree. I really wanted to be there, one because it was us playing Alabama, but that's sort of our howdy. We coming by, we're swinging by for dinner before we have a seat at the table for good, which is coming up now that we're moving to the SEC.
Well, was that the signature win to maybe help them build towards getting back to the top of college football?
I don't know. I'm wary to throw out these signature wins. That people lean into to answer the question: Is Texas back? We're back, and we're back. We will not need to advertise it. It will be obvious. The world will know it. The world will say it, and when they say it to us, we will go, we agree. Thank you very much. It's not going to be something that we need to advertise or boast. Does a win like that help get us started? Yeah, yes, it does. Very much a signature, big ass game. Let's not belittle it like, oh, it was just another game. No, that was a big ass game, and we went down there and handled business. But as you know, and now as all fans know, things aren't made overnight or on one Saturday. It's an endurance test of an entire season. And so we will see. As I like to say, we're on our way. That kind of win right there really shines a light to go, ooh, I'm even more excited. But it's a full season. Can we look what we do the next week against Wyoming? Turn it on in the fourth quarter. We have to. We're still working to become a team that is better than being able to say, oh, we'll turn it on when we want to turn it on. No, we aren't there yet. We have to learn how to turn it on early, flick our own switch, and make those kind of games. It's going to be a wonderful gauntlet we're going through in this through the Big 12. We got off to a great start, whooping Baylor the other day, but our target is on our back more so than ever as we exit and say farewell to the Big 12.
Well, let's go back a bit to the beginning of your fandom. When did you become a Longhorns fan? Was it just something that's a part of everyday life in Texas, or was there a specific moment that you remember?
No, I think it was Donnie Little. And in Texas, I think the two that have been the top schools that are on your radar and in your face the most would be University of Texas, and Texas A&M. I actually have more family cousins and stuff from A&M in our life, from our family gatherings. There was always more Aggies. I just found my affection for the Longhorns early. Thankfully went to school there, and obviously once I went to school there and got introduced to Austin and the university, and I'm now a part of the university with other work that I do there besides just being a fan. I always did admire, and I still admire the expectation of excellence that is
Well,
inherent with the University of Texas.
you mentioned you went to UT, and you're also still, deeply connected with the school. Why is it so important for you to be so connected still?
Well, I live in Austin. I'm really interested in young people's lives, and at that collegiate level, 18 to 22. What's that mean? The meaning of that is changing today, scholastically and in sports. I still believe in a lot of the innocence that you can get from, and the purity that you can get from college sports, although that's even changing quite a bit and becoming more like a pro league. I understand that. But it's the time. It's still the time where young men and women are finding themselves. It's before they go off and they're going to be independent and free citizens. And whether that's in the classroom or on the field, there are values on both that help the other, that you can take on in life after you leave. So I teach film class. I got an advertising class there. I'm around the athletic department as much as I can be. Really have struck up a really cool relationship with our great athletic director, Chris Del Conte. He's the best, and I'm happy to know him well enough to know why.
Well, I want to move on to your new book, Just Because, which you can find on Amazon or wherever you buy your books. It's officially #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list. This was a follow-up to your first book, Green Lights, which spent 55 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. Just Because is a book about the life lessons and questions that have more than one answer to them,
Yep.
and that are not just surface level. You've always been known to share your wisdom and your outlook on life, but where did the kernel of this idea come from?
Having 3 kids, seeing what they're going through, having discussions with them about things they're going through, times where they're confused, frustrated, trying to figure life out. And when you have children, you start to see and make decisions in life through the lens of those dependents, which are our children. And I'm always thinking about my own life and choices I make and how are they the best choices for my children as well. Camilla and I do that as a couple. And this particular night, I was dreaming about it, I guess, because I had this little ditty in my head, which is what's in the book. Just because they threw the dart don't mean that it's stuck. Just because you got skills don't mean there is no luck. And as I woke up and kept the ditty in my head and I wrote it down, and what you got there is in the book. Kids are pushed more now than ever, I believe, to be absolute. Who are you? What do you want to do in life? It's like, whoa, I'm 12. Let me still try some things out. Kids are told, you told one little white lie and they get labeled a liar. Well, no, you did. That doesn't mean you're a liar. It means you maybe lied that time, but you can make amends. Don't be labeling people. You can be nervous and excited at the same time, and that's okay. Rather than having to feel like, oh, I have to feel like one or the other. No, you don't. You can feel both.
Well, this book is a picture book, and most would associate that with being targeted towards children. But the lessons in it speak to people of all ages and may even hit harder for those with life experiences under their belts. Did you find that when you were writing it?
Yeah, and look, I mean, there's a lot of thoughts and ethos and approach in these couplets in this children's book that I enjoy talking about and learning from other people in my life that are intelligent and wise that I've learned from. I packaged them with a rhyme, with illustrations to be digestible for a younger audience, because I don't think it's ever too soon for young people to start to realize the context and the context and considerations of life that are contradictions or that we say do oppose each other, but they really don't. So I packaged them in a way. It's kind of like having your comedy card. You got, when you're a comedian, you can get away with saying some certain things because, hey, I'm on stage, I'm a comedian. To put it in a children's book, to have the illustrations, to have it rhymed, it comes off easy. It makes the broccoli taste good. It's got a rhythm and it's an innocence to it, but yet it's thematically some things that I know myself and many other adults still need to remind ourselves of.
In the book, there are some couplets that are sports related.
Yeah.
And I think we all know that sports do teach some very important life lessons.
Yep.
What were some of the couplets or even life lessons that you've learned from sports?
Yeah, well, look, some of them in there, I've learned a lot about preparation. Key preparation. I know how valuable that's been to many successes I've had in my life, especially career. I love to prepare. It's hard work to prepare so then I can go play. The prep is the work, but when the whistle's blown or I'm on my set and it's time to do the scene, if I've done the prep work, I'm fluid. I'm Vince Young on the field in the 2005 national championships, man. I'm loose. You know what I mean? Because I've done the prep. I trust that I'm not having to think about it. It's instinctually in my body. I know the plays. I know the options. I got 4 different options of what I could call. I got 4 audibles for every scene. That's from the prep. In the book I have just because I finished doesn't mean I'm done. We talked about that earlier. We talked about Texas football. We finished and beat Alabama. You said, is that a signature win? Sure, it's a signature win. Does that mean we're done? No. Have to do the full season. Just because I keep winning is another couplet. Just because I keep winning doesn't mean that I'm a cheater. That's an intentional call out to sometimes when we see greatness, we go, oh man, unbelievable, which I think is the silliest word in the vocabulary we have. Or we go, well, they're probably cheating. I mean, Tiger Woods has probably got better golf clubs than everybody. We look for an excuse for greatness. And sometimes people are cheating, but most of the time it's human greatness. And if they're better than us or they're the best at what they do, we should just applaud and go, amen, way to go. More, please.
Well, speaking of best and bestsellers, after Green Lights, did you have that writing itch to maybe write another one? And then do you still have that itch?
Look, I've got the writing itch. I've had it all my life. Green Lights was just finally having the courage to go, well, let's see if we can put it into between 2 hardback covers and see if it's worth sharing and worth reading. I write every single day. I'm going through all my notes the last 4 years since Green Lights came out, seeing what my themes of my thinking have been, themes of my own perception of life, what's going on with myself, the world. And my hunch is they're going to fall into certain categories. I'm going to have out of 4 years of writing, I'm probably going to have 8 different categories that all my thoughts have gone into, could go into those columns. If that happens, that could be 8 different chapters in a new book. So I'm always writing. I do have the itch. And, not all of it makes the page. There's some stuff that you go, nice try. There's other stuff that you go, woo, hang on to that one. That's worth sharing.
Well, I do need to make one correction, and I need to give you more credit. Green Lights has been on the New York Times bestseller list for almost 100 weeks, not 55. So almost double that. But I want to finish up here by coming full circle and getting some Texas football predictions from you. Can be quick fire. You can go into as much detail as you would like. Yeah. Will Texas play in a New Year's Six bowl game this season?
I sure hope so. Look, we again, I think that's fine to have that as a goal in mind, as long and if as we get ready for every single Saturday. And right now, how is that possible? How is that possible? Go beat Kansas. That has to be it. The compartmentalization and the having the big picture in mind, but being able to deal with what's specifically in front of you is a wonderful, adventurous frontier for athletes and teams, even pros, but especially college athletics. Because if you break it down, you're saying if we win 12 in a row. I tell my son the other day, he goes like, what happens if we keep winning? I go, well, if we win everything, we'll win the national championship. He's like, how's that? I go, meaning you never lose. You know what I mean? It's like NBA. You go like, NBA, what do you want in the NBA? You want the shortest summer is what you want. You want to have the shortest summer of every other NBA team. That means you're the best and you played the last game and won it. But to be able to focus for 3.5 hours, to be able to be mentally, spiritually, and physically focused on what you need to do and cohesive as a team for 3.5 hours, once a week, one time in a row, over and over again. But you don't get over and over again until you get the one time in a row. And right now, our one time in a row is Kansas this Saturday.
Okay. Now, with Texas and Oklahoma heading to the SEC, we get the return of the Lone Star Showdown. Yeah. Who will win the first rematch between Texas and Texas A&M?
Oh, I like the Longhorns in this matchup, and I'm so glad we're doing it again. Rivalries are so important. It's college athletics are the most healthy form of tribalism I think we have. the A&M Longhorn matchup is historical. It's the way what it's going to do to bring certain families, the SHIT talk that's going to be going on, that's going to be rebuilt and restored again. It's good, healthy tribalism. It's one of the beautiful things about the SEC. That conference in particular is the healthiest form of tribalism.
Yep.
Rabid fans. And I mean, you're playing an away game. That home field advantage means a lot. They beat up on each other, the best versus the best all season. But what other conference, when they beat a team outside that conference, chants their conference name and takes over stadiums? SEC. That is a wonderful conference. So excited about that. Excited about renewing this rivalry with A&M. I've been to a lot of A&M games at Darrell K. Royal. I've been to a lot of them at Kyle Field. I'm looking forward to these road trips again. Let's get it on.
Well, 2024 should be an exciting season. Just Because is now out, and you can find it on Amazon or wherever you get your books. We'll have a link in the description below. Go get yourself a copy. Matthew, thank you so much for joining. Until Saturday.
Appreciate it. Hug 'em.